This evening's topic is on SMME sustainability. Wonderful topic, affects most of us, and if that's mainly about small, medium, and micro enterprise, which are vital contributors to the health of the economy, and also that they offer a diversity of opportunities in our society. Ms. Modimogale will unpack for us what the opportunities are and reflect on some of the challenges that face the SMMEs, and more particularly the new and upcoming market. I don't want to take too much of your time, but Ms. Puseletso Modimogale is mindset advocate. I don't know what that means. Transformation coach and owner of Mind Retirement Institute. She's a very seasoned mentor and has helped and supported young entrepreneurs. Amongst many other business activities, she also has an online radio called Transformation Talk with Puseletso. Well, that's over to you, and let's hear what you have to say, and we are all ears. Go ahead, Puseletso.
Thank you so much. I have been looking forward to this moment, the rest of since last week. And I'm glad I see familiar names on the screen. Thank you so much and welcome for taking this moment. I want to congratulate you for spending and investing time to your development. I also want to say thank you to the organization for the work that you are doing in developing businesses and helping businesses to become sustainable. It is the job that I'm familiar with because I've worked under enterprise and supply development for 8 years, and beyond that, I've been running my own business as a small business for the past 28 years. So I am talking to you not because I'm talking from theory. I will be talking to you from things that I've experienced myself in running my own business and being also affected negatively and positively by COVID-19. I want to believe that all of us here have actually experienced the impact of COVID-19 because we were not ready. If you were ready, you are very adaptable to change, but not everybody can adapt to change easily. So for that, I will engage with you. I would like to see who is in the room, because when we prepare and we talk, we rather talk directly to the issues in the room compared to me talking in general. What I've learned about entrepreneurship in the years that I've been involved with helping businesses is don't do a blanket approach, because you will not be able to address everybody's problem, but rather do an assessment so that you can have a development plan that can assist individuals towards the next phase of their growth. I have prepared a presentation I'm going to share. However, do not focus much on the presentation. Look at me. As much as I didn't put many words, thank God, I will be sharing, speaking to you directly. I would like to ask everyone to make use of the chat box, where whenever you are asked questions, please put your answers there. And also, if you have a question that you would like to ask, please put it there. There will be, I believe, about 5-10 minutes after my talk that I will attend to your questions. But thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
I'm going to share the screen now. So, in the room, how many people have been in business for less than 2 years? I just want to say me, if it's you, put it in the chat room. I just want to know how many people have been in the business for less than 2 years. And if it's more, you can say less than 2 years, or you can say more than 2 years. Then I just want to know where you are and in terms of your thinking around business. Guys, my dogs are fighting, so forgive me for that noise. Okay, I've got Vino, who is more than 2 years. Where is everybody? Tebogo, what about you? Okay, Amit, more than 2 years, great, more than 2 years. Lovely, lovely. I think we have more people who've been much in business. They've been, I mean, they say more than 2 years, it means you are already getting into the sustainability of your business. You have tried the concept. You are now seeing what works and what doesn't work. Ongani is also more than 2 years. Okay, so 60% so far of people in the room are more than 2 years. I'm excited to hear that. Lovely. So managing the impact of COVID, the COVID-10. So there's the next one. So forgive me on that one. So it's something that first has to me, according to me, it has to start first in the mind. There's nothing that you can manage that is outside of you. You have to first start from the mind. And what do I mean by that? The stats has been made by SAICA, and they have done it together with SMME. And they have come up with these findings. They said about 60% of the people were affected. They were not even able to operate during lockdown 5, 60%. And then they also said there were about 29.2% of cash reserve and payment, which is very little number compared to the entire 70% that who didn't even have any reserves or able to pay any debts. And I'm sure many of us are belonging into that group. And also 40% were able to develop new income streams. So now my interest actually lies with this 41% of how did they manage to generate new income streams? Because that's where now change happens. That's now new innovation, new creativity comes in, and our ability to adapt to change and be versatile enough to speak to what is currently happening, to speak to what the clients are needing now, because most of our businesses need to be re-evaluated because our business model could have expired by now based on the need of our clients. So I want to start with you in terms of self-awareness. How easy are you in terms of adapting to change? How did this COVID-19, the lockdown phase, how did you respond to it? Do you think, one, you succumbed to it, which means you become very dysfunctional, functioning person? We could see you are walking, but you were totally dysfunctional. Were you disabled in terms of survival coping? So you felt like you are stuck, there isn't anything more to do? Were you navigating? Were you still alive and still able to move forward in dealing with issues as they come? Or were you thriving? Because many people, it doesn't mean there is a challenge that they don't thrive. Some of people, and I associate with thriving people because I become alive in chaotic situation because I'm always looking for solutions. So did you enhance and become more resourceful and you gained your mental strength? So in the chat box, can you tell me which one are you? Have you ever thought about this? Or are you moving on an autopilot? So let me see, who do we have in the room? Do we have people who succumb to situation, who become disabled, who are navigating, or who are thriving? Which one do you believe you are? Dino is navigating, Bongani stuck, Dewoho navigating, Ahmed navigating as well. Everybody else, Mashuru is also navigating. We have a lot of people who are navigating. Basically, they keep on moving forward and dealing with issues as they arise. And that is, of course, at least a functional area. You're still aware, you're still alert, you still can face issues, you still, even if, and it does not mean that you win them all. But the fact is, you are not succumbing to the situation, which is better. And the question is, not every one of us as entrepreneurs are in the navigating or thriving mode. Many businesses that were mentioned by the research where they find themselves not being able to turn around, not being able to thrive, to work because they either succumbed or they became disabled. And at the same time, they did not see any form of opportunities within the industries that they are in. How COVID affected all of us differs from industry to industry, and it's not going to be something that not all businesses will survive it. Not all business concepts will still be feasible after this. That is why it's going to need us to revisit and look into, is this still necessary for me now? I mean, perhaps maybe that's where coaching and being able to attend this kind of seminars that can help you gain new perspective into where and how can I start looking into if my business is going to survive and actually is it speaking into the future? Because we are moving towards a different direction from where we were. And if ever you have not gone back to the drawing board to add, amend, or delete, you haven't done the work. And that's the starting point of all of us to say, am I still relevant for today's need? Am I still, my business still going to address the needs of the market that I am targeting? And who are my strategic partners that I need to be partnering with? And how can I cut costs? And what are the income streams that I'm aiming at? What is the value chain? And all this is going to speak to our business model. And that is where the change will happen. So while we are still on a self-awareness and realizing that it is very important to know who you are, to know and understand as well your why. Why did you start the business? And that I will get to, because what they're saying and what they say about self-awareness is the ability to accurately perceive your own emotions and to stay aware of your emotions as they happen, and to keep on top of how you tend to respond to specific situations and people. And that is why one thing I've been teaching most of my mentees and entrepreneurs that I've supported is there is time to be vulnerable in business. It's not always to show as if you are fine, you are coping, everything is good. When moments where you succumb and you become very much stuck, you need to speak out. That is why some of the entrepreneurs, and there has been a very lot of cases of people we had to refer for psychiatric evaluation because they could not cope with the pressure of entrepreneurship during this time. They could not cope with loss of income. They could not cope with all the demands that were coming from all different directions. And now they succumbed to a situation. So it is very important to be aware, to be able to develop yourself, to be able to discover some new ways on how you can build your mental strength, resilience, and be able to cope during these times. And let me help you understand that it's not all businesses that actually suffered during this time. There is a case of one entrepreneur that before COVID, while I was still working with her, she is in the toilet paper manufacturing. She just started body bags where she supplied the police stations, she supplied the hospitals for dead people, but they were not doing so well before COVID on her employees to cut down on costs. And we started looking at different ways on how she can still sweat her machinery, because she had a lot of machinery that were not sweating in the operation. But enough, when COVID came, the demand went up and she could not even meet the demand. In fact, she's sitting right now with a problem of supply and demand because she's not able to meet all the demand due to the increase of requests that are coming through every day. The body bags business that she started as a default because she needed something else to bring in an extra income is now, it's a separate company that is doing so well now. So you see, people, it depends on the need of the market. It depends on the crisis that is out there, whether your business can. Psychologists, some of my colleagues who are psychologists, we are swamped with demands because a lot of people are going through stress. People in the EWP, employee wellness programs, they're increasing their funds towards mental health. So you see, all this is where we can be able to understand what is needed now and how can I adapt to the new demand and how can I align my business accordingly. So your why, Simon Sinek, who is popular with that with the why, is very key because I know for sure that when we go back to the drawing board of understanding where we are with our businesses, understanding why you started is also as important. Minara, are you saying that you are unable to hear me, or am I breaking up at certain points? Is it everyone experiencing that? Help me understand, perhaps it's my network.
No,
I do sometimes struggle a bit.
I think we're okay. I think I can hear you well.
Are you fine?
Yeah, I'm fine, but I just want to know if the participants.
Okay, so
that's fine. Carry on.
Okay, lovely. Thank you for notifying me. But thanks as well for the feedback. So your why is as important. So whenever we find ourselves stuck or in a position where change is needed, we need to always connect with the meaning of life. What is it? Why did I start this business? Am I doing something that I love? I know now there has been a lot of survival businesses that are coming up that are starting because there's a need for one to put bread on the table. There is a lot of people who are moving into what can I afford to sell now, but you find that they don't like what they're doing. And that also takes a lot away from our energy, our ability to produce more and our ability to grow, because where there's no energy flow, everything gets stifled. And that is going to be one thing that we need to understand. How can I improve my passion into what I do? If that's what you have as an opportunity, there will be a way of how you can increase your passion. Sometimes the passion is not there because you are still not sure about the industry. You're still not yet knowledgeable. You haven't gained a certain skill that you need to acquire so that you can function better. So do that evaluation of what is it that I have right now and why am I still not yet aligned and connected to what I'm doing. And if you can do that, you can then get help into getting support, into growing knowledge and understanding of the industry and the business that you are in. And also, what does the world need? Because at the end of the day, many of us who are starting business because it's something that I love, but at the end, it's not going to serve the people whom you want to pay, whom you want to sell it to. It's not going to work. I have seen passion businesses that have died because they were born because of passion, but there was no proper research and analysis that was done in terms of market need. So you need to definitely know what you're doing is what is needed, and at the end of and also good at. SWOT analysis is one of the tools that we use in our coaching to help people to understand their strengths, the opportunities that they have, the weaknesses, and the threats that they're sitting with. So on your own, if you can sit with a SWOT analysis, but you know, the most amazing thing I have seen, it is people will fill up the weaknesses side with answers, and then they have few friends. And when you ask them, is that all that you really are? You find they get stuck. We have actually trained our minds to always focus on the negative. We have focused a lot into limitations, the lacks, and we have failed ourselves into seeing the good in us. So do that exercise even when you don't need it, just to keep on reminding you of who you are, what you have. And that is where now many people, even when they put up their profile, they are unable to articulate what they are able to deliver because of they always look at the limitations of what they're sitting with versus the potential they have. So the SWOT analysis is one of the tools I encourage all entrepreneurs to do, and use that strength that you have put there, list them, whether they are aligned with the current business you are in or not, list them all in. The next question should be, with all my strengths that I have, where are the opportunities? If I'm a good writer in the business that I have, what are the opportunities or what kind of a service can I add as an offering within my business? So you need to do that exercise back and forth till you can gain, it's like it opens your mind to see new. The moment you see you start appreciating you, the more energy goes up, the more passion increases. So that's why we have to always be looking into things that add, not that subtract from what we are trying to do. Entrepreneurship is hard, guys. It's not easy. I mean, we make it look easy, or people, even us as we are coaching, people might think we have figured it all out. No, it's not easy, but it needs an open mind. It needs you to be open to learning, to be able to see and understand that as you keep on asking yourself questions, as you keep on seeking for help, you'll find. I mean, that's why the Bible says you have not because you didn't ask. So keep on asking questions and the answers will come. And the last thing is that what I can be paid for? Because I know for sure that many patients have died because people have not yet managed to withdraw from their businesses. Businesses that doesn't pay you salary will stifle your energy. Business that doesn't help you grow in your personal and your business is not gonna help you still keep your passion. So these are the lot of things that we need to teach. I mean, having worked with Psycha, we have seen how many businesses, 5-year-old, 6, 7, 8-year-old, who still have not even allocated themselves salary because they're still reinvesting in their businesses. But when you look on their personal life, they really are struggling to a point that their household is also struggling. That is why now they start doing so many other things, trying to support the other side of business that is not working. But at the same time, when that happens, we continuously have to keep on looking into what makes the business not work, because you might find that it's not because there's lack of support or clients, but it's purely because of the operations or the economy and many other factors that could affect that business. So what are other actions that I would like to bring to your attention, perhaps just to help you look into other areas of your business? I've already alluded to the first one, which is visiting your business model. If you don't know what is a business model canvas or lean business model is, Google it. It's a simplest form of a business plan. And it is one of the tools that is very important, because when you explain what your business does, it has to lie on your model. And you have to also look at whether it highlights your key differentiator or what makes you different in the market, because mostly it's what will sell. We start businesses that are not unique. You find that most of us have started businesses that already exist, but there should be something that makes us stand out. And this business model, to me, after you've done your assessment of your business, is the one thing that will lead to your business strategy and the business development plan. Because on an annual basis, we need to know where are we going? What is our vision? What are our goals that we want to achieve? So if you never do those kind of documentation or paperwork, you are not doing justice to your business, because then you are still just, what if I get the next 200, the next 1,000 rand, the next 110,000, and it's not enough, because you could be sitting with something beyond your means. And especially if you look at the model, it will show you also the strategic partners. What that area I've been saying to entrepreneurs, whenever you are asked who are your strategic partners, don't only look into people who supply you. Don't look into people that add to your gross profit. Look at strategic collaborations as well, because in today's time, one key thing is we need to be open to partnering with others. I'll give you an example. One of the things that I've done, I own a spa as well. And I also have an alkaline water franchise. I also supply mobile toilets to Northwest Province. And I support my child with chicken farm. So there are multiple businesses that I do. So in the spa one, which is another income stream, I realized that the days of hiring full-time therapists are over, because if you don't, people are affected from, the first year of COVID, I mean, last year entirely, with half of the year, almost 8 months of the year, we did not work. We were on lockdown. And you know, UIF were only paying for the first 3 months. And then from there, you will be losing key stuff that have been helping the business grow. So what do you do then? I had to turn that model around where I had to give the members or the therapists an opportunity to earn shares. And they work for themselves. And then I needed to put targets in terms of what they should give to the business, and the remaining is theirs. And that model worked because it's not only supporting the business to become viable, but it's also helping build small businesses within the small business itself. So depending on what your model is, there could be ways in how you can collaborate and partner with other businesses that will enhance an offering or that can add value to your business. Cost cutting, which is one thing. So, I mean, one entrepreneur was saying to me, what do I cut? Because everything is already gone. I have nowhere to cut. Everything is already at the bone. This, you know, now with people working from home, I know it's a new concept that many people are still struggling with, especially depending on our homes setup, and also depending on our equipment availability of Wi-Fi and many other factors that could affect small businesses. But it's been proven now, having to hire an expensive office, you have to evaluate whether it's really has a return of investment, because everywhere is an office. Under a tree at the park is an office where you get free government Wi-Fi. So we need to really be versatile enough or to adapt, because we cannot still sit with fixed overheads that we are unable to honor at the end of the month. There's nothing as painful or as when knowing that when the money comes, all the money has to go to your fixed expenses, and you are unable to even draw salary from it. So changing that setup, if is one example in terms of cutting costs, could help a business to cut costs, especially, like I said, look at your fixed expenses to say, how can I change this model? And negotiate with your landlord, negotiate with your suppliers. Do not be scared to go and plea. I was sitting with one last time who supplies me with raw material, and I was telling them, and you could find that they could give me good discounts. And some of the savings that I've made through the negotiations, then I deploy them somewhere. So do not be scared, guys. I think entrepreneurs are sometimes scared to plead their cases. They are scared to go and ask for help or negotiate. So if there's one skill you need to adapt in today's time in terms of coping and being able to run a business, is negotiation skills. That will help you win and always increase your bottom line. So if you don't know how to negotiate, perhaps you need to attend a negotiation workshop or find a coach to assist you with that. So now the other one is to also assess the impact of pandemic on your operational and financial perspectives. So operationally, you find that you used to deliver stuff, courier them or whatsoever. What is the other cheaper method? Compare prices as much as you can. Look at things that you can substitute things with. Go through with your accountant, because I encourage many have a good relationship with their accountant. Many of us, many SMMEs only see their accountants at the end of the year, like now in February, because they want the financial year statements. They shouldn't be. They are there, we are paying them on a monthly basis. We need to be part of our strategy. They need to be part of understanding where we are going and what is it that we are trying to achieve. And if you don't have that relationship, I think it's time that you get an accountant who is a finance coach, who can be able to help within the strategy, within planning your financial goals, so that they can see what is currently happening and how you can know to be smart and have financial acumen to help you make the right decisions and informed decisions of your financial. And of course, guys, I know for sure that there was help funding wise and many other ways in how you could access it. Majority of entrepreneurs could not access such, and it's not because they couldn't, they were not qualifying, but it's because they did not have their compliance in place. One of the compliance that most entrepreneurs do not have, one is the financials. Secondly, they don't have their tax clearance. They don't have any statutory requirements based on the industry that they're in. All those things will disqualify you from getting help, because how else can you prove that your business has history, that you are compliant and you're running a legit business? So those are some of the things that we really have to emphasize, especially with the startups, because they are aiming at the money more than they're aiming to setting up the operations that are viable. And managing cash flow across supply chain, address key risks, ensuring business continuity, and learn new skills. As I've said earlier, we can never say it's enough. We continuously keep on learning. One of the skills that majority had to learn is to move in their businesses from operating face-to-face into digital. I'm one of the people who used to see Coach Keys face-to-face, or I'll visit their business spaces, or I'll host workshops. Now I'm doing all that digitally, to a point that the increase is high because I'm reaching people all over the country. So we need to learn how to use our digital platforms, but most importantly, your cell phone. Everybody would say, no, I don't have 1, 2, 3, but they have the most expensive smartphone. So let's try to increase the percentage of usage in that smartphone and the knowledge of how to use certain apps and things that could assist with efficiency and viability of our businesses. And social media. I know many people have this thing of, I don't like social media, I do not like Facebook, all these kind of excuses that we have when we don't understand how something can work for you. So I encourage people who have not experienced or even looked into social media as an enabler or as a marketing strategy tool to consider that. There are a lot of trainings that are happening on LinkedIn, on social media, Facebook itself, in terms of businesses that are selling products and services. And that's one of the things you need to learn. Don't sit at your corner, keep on learning. And lastly is adapting to change. Unfortunately, no more excuses now. COVID has shown us that those who will survive are the ones who are able to adapt to change easily. And my final thoughts for tonight is, I don't even know how much time I've taken, is to believe that the road to success will be rocky, leads to the greater success because it forces you to take action. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Don't sit in your pity party corner. Do not think somebody will come and rescue you. It has been proven that those who are energy is ready to receive will open up and you will definitely get help. So I encourage you, entrepreneurs, I encourage you, mentors and coaches, let us be open-minded enough to see what's new, what's happening in the market, where is the puck going to be. Let's try to adapt to change as much as possible. COVID-19 is definitely not a nice thing that is happening now. We have seen the impact of it. We have buried our loved ones. We are still struggling to resuscitate ourselves from the impact of it. The doors are closing. We are owing people a lot of money, but change, help can come. If you plead your case, if you're bold enough to go and face people, you will see that something can shift. So let's start first by shifting what's in our mind, and let's retire from self-sabotaging behavior. Let's retire from limiting beliefs. Let's retire from self-doubt, and everything else will fall into place. And that's all from me for tonight. I'm going to stand up quickly. My charger, my phone, my computer is about to die, so I'm just going to grab a charger, but I am listening. I can take questions now.
Many thanks, Puseletso. That was an excellent presentation by you. I think personally, I've learned more about the SMMEs now than I ever knew before. And yeah, I know that these are challenges that they face. I read somewhere a little while ago that something like about if you're in your first year of entrepreneurship And they say that about 57% of these small businesses actually fail in the first year, and about 70 to 80% fail after around before the 5th year. So a very little of these SMMEs really make much of what's left after 5 years. On the one or two, are there any questions? We'll quickly take them now and ask our host to answer them as swiftly and as possible. So we'll take some questions quickly. All right, there aren't any, which means that Puseletso, you've done an excellent job and we all understand exactly what's needed. We had some excellent participants. So when I browsed through a bit earlier, I saw some professor there, I saw businessmen, I saw lecturers, I saw some accountants, and there were others who I didn't know, but I'm sure that they come from all walks of life. I want to thank them most sincerely for taking the time and trouble for tuning in and listening to us. On behalf of the Minara Chamber of Commerce, thank you, Puseletso, and all our participants this evening. Most definitely a very good and stimulating discussion. You've had your details put on, but however, if there's others who would like to get in touch with you, can call our Minara offices and we will direct them to you. Many thanks and good night to everybody, and thank you all again. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Thanks. Thank you, Amina.